What's going on, everyone? So the other day we got the heartbreaking loss to the Celtics, in which a game that we should have won. This is now the fifth time that the Lakers should have won a game on a game-ending play that wasn't called by the refs. The refs failed to make the decision, and this one just felt terrible, right? I mean, this was surrounded by a ton of controversy over on Twitter. I mean, all of the, sports syndicates, everyone was talking about how bad this one was. Because, I mean, it was as clear of a call as there was out of any of them. There was no questions, no doubts. The ref is standing right there looking directly at it and decided not to call it. We end up going into overtime and we lose in overtime. And I know a lot of people feel like, oh, well, you still could have gotten it done in overtime. But you got to understand the circumstances. It is so deflating, so draining. We've been working our tail off the whole game to try to just, control this game and get the win at the end. And then you lose in a heartbreak the way that it did. It's not very easy. It's not easy to now regain that same momentum and regain all. It feels like the world's against you. The refs are making bad plays, bad calls. We get a technical before the game, the halftime or overtime even starts, and it's like, now what? Right? It's just an absolute mess. And don't get me wrong, like the technical was definitely deserved on Patrick Beverley, but it was, which I actually liked. I know some people are kind of on the fence with that, but no, I mean, seriously, it was ridiculous. No, and even the commentators are like, oh, that's just ridiculous. Not more ridiculous than a ref that has a job to do that didn't do their job. At the end of the day, the ref didn't do their job. And the problem is there's no accountability. And I've talked about this on several times. The issue is there's no levels, there's no steps to holding refs accountable. We have replay, we have all of these things that we try to utilize, yet we don't utilize any of it when it matters. At the end of this play, it should have been a dead ball. Go check or call the play and then go review it. If you were uncertain, if you didn't know it was a foul or not, and you're like, call the foul, go review it per league rules, and then if it's not a foul, overturn it. It's not that difficult. It's not that complicated, and I really hope the NBA addresses it. And it's not even just the Lakers game, right? I mean, there have been countless games this year from various. I mean, the Celtics have dealt with a couple themselves, right? And even just technicals, like refs are super tech happy. Like Jason Tatum. He got a tech for like clapping his hands because he was upset at himself. He wasn't screaming at anybody. He wasn't projecting at anybody. He wasn't looking at anybody. He was looking at the ground at himself, clapping. Luka got a tech for like yelling at his player. He wasn't even talking. He was yelling at, who was it? Powell, I think it was. And he's just yelling at the guy, and yet they gave him a tech. Right? And then we get these last 2-minute reports and they mean nothing. Who cares? So the team can get validation that they got cheated? Like, they know they got cheated. The world knows that the Lakers got cheated. Like, what your last 2-minute report of like, oh, we messed up. And then the NBA immediately reaches out to the Lakers like before the game was over saying, sorry, we missed the call. That does nothing for us. Nothing for us. All right? Take that and keep it to yourself. Right? Like, what do we want with that? Like, it does nothing. And unless something changes, it's hard. It's really hard to watch. And like I said, it's not just the Lakers. This is a referee problem in the NFL even, right? The NFL, like, there's issues going on with the Chiefs game. You had controversy in the Eagles game, right? Where they ruled it a catch and that led to a touchdown. So like, just the refereeing is not what it once was, or at least it feels like it doesn't. It feels like it's very highlighted. Maybe that's because of social media and stuff, right? I mean, there's always been just controversy in sports. You have Tim Donaghy, who was betting on sports and stuff back in the day, and that became a whole issue. And I don't necessarily think sports are rigged. I don't. I know sometimes it feels that way, but there's too many layers, too many variables that are uncontrollable, in which you can't predict the outcome for, right? Like, the Lakers could have won by 40. Right? And then how do you know that it's going to come down to a late last second call where you don't get the call? Or, let's say they don't make the call. The Lakers could have won in overtime and then it doesn't matter, right? Like, so there's no way to predict. I just think it's the refs. They don't want to be in a position to make that call. They don't want to have to decide the game themselves by making that call, and now the Celtics lose at home. Like, if Jason Tatum was the one, like, let's say it was reversed. Let's say it was a tie game. Jason Tatum was the one going down, right? And he was the one that got hit. I guarantee you they would have made that call because you're in Boston, right? And it's Jason Tatum. Like, that call would have been made. But because it's LeBron James, it's the Lakers, and you're in Boston's home court, like, you're not going to make that call. But that's, to me, is an issue in and of itself as well, because you're paid to do a job. Do your job. Do what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, if you don't want to do it, then don't be a referee. Let somebody else do it, right? And there needs to be some scale of accountability. But the reason that I'm bringing this up again is because we got a tweet from the Refs Association, which I saw this yesterday, and I didn't make a video about it because I thought it was a troll account. I didn't think it was really what the refs said. I thought it was just, because now Twitter, because of Twitter Blue and everything like that, like now you can pay $8 and anyone can get the little check mark. So you see all kinds of like fake accounts and stuff. So I saw it kind of in passing. Like I wasn't like looking it up or anything. It was just, I got some like little thing notification for something else. And I was like looking at it. And then like right under it was the little tweet. And I was like, okay, like that, there's no way they said that. And so I just moved on. And then today I like saw that a bunch like ESPN and everyone was talking about that tweet. And I was like, okay, so maybe this is real. So here's that tweet. So again, this is from the official NBA refs, the NBA referees official Twitter, right? Like everyone else, referees make mistakes. We made one at the end of last night's game, and that is gut-wrenching for us. This play will weigh heavily and cause sleepless nights as we strive to be the best referees we can be. Tell me this isn't a troll tweet. Seriously. Come on. Look, like everyone else, referees make mistakes. I agree. We're ruling on human error, right? I've said this about baseball because I do have another channel, As It Stands Sports, right? Which is just basically me talking about other sports, other teams, stuff like that, right? And I've talked about this on that channel where, I don't know why, especially in baseball, they don't use technology, right? And they want to keep the integrity of the game and have an umpire that's, signaling calls and stuff like that. But you have all the technology to tell you what's a ball, what's a strike, and you already have people in places that are watching that in real time. You could just have somebody reviewing that ball, relay it to the ref, have the ref have an earpiece, and then in real time, while it's happening, get the call right. Ball, strike. And then the ump can make the little calls and the little signals or whatever. But in baseball, the minor league teams are actually going to be testing robo umps or whatever, something like that. So maybe this will be the first step in that process. You could still keep the umpires, just have them with an earpiece, and then have the technology use. The NFL is starting to implement that as well. The NBA needs to do that as well, because you are relying on human eye tests, positioning. NBA players, even like Kobe has a famous, interview where he talks about, one of the things he studied and learned was how referees operate. Like, where are their positions on the court? Because every ref has to be in a certain spot. So like Kobe said, I would know where that was so I could get away with stuff. Because I know that if a ref is over here, well, then he can't see me over here. He can't see me, pull the guy or pull the guy's arm or, slap his arm or, whatever, because he can't see that, right? So you don't think other players do the same thing? You don't think other players know, oh, okay, I got the ref's blind spot here. Of course they do. So if you have the technology that you already have in place and you implement that, like even the challenge rule. Why do we have a challenge rule? You only get one challenge, but if you win the challenge, that's it. Like all that happens is you get to keep the timeout, right? Like have it to where you actually get another challenge, right? Or keep getting challenges until you get it wrong or something like that. Whatever, I don't know, but implement something else. But I do understand. Referees are human. They make mistakes. They said we made one at the end of last night's game that was gut-wrenching for us. Okay, sure. I don't know if they really were that gutted about it, right? I think that's kind of silly. They could have just said, last night in the game, we made one that just made us look bad or just wasn't a good call, and we regret it, whatever, right? But to say it was gut wrenching for us, really, I'm sure you're that just devastated over the missed call. I'm sure, it's going to be the worst thing ever. And then they say this play will weigh heavily and cause sleepless nights as we strive to be the best referees we can. There is no way that this isn't a troll. No way. You're telling me that, oh yeah, this call is going to weigh so heavily on you and you're going to be so restless and so sleepless. Oh no, poor referees. Oh, as you guys strive to be the best referees you can be. Stop it. Stop. Come on. There's no way you read this and go, this isn't a troll. I really believe this was just one of those fake troll accounts that were just, making fun of like the situation and just being over dramatic. There is no way that this is a real NBA ref Twitter association that posted this. It blows my mind. Blows my mind how bad the refs have been. And then you have Lewis, who the Celtics are like 36-2 or something like that when he's reffing. And like you have his like wife and stuff in like a Celtics jersey, like before the game, and his kids and everything. Like that's something else that's going around. Like there's clear bias there. There's no way that there's not clear bias there. So why do you keep letting this guy ref Celtics games? Like if you think he's a good ref and you want him to ref games, let him ref everything but Celtics games, right? Because there's clearly a bias there. 36-2. The Celtics are 36-2, and you have your family wearing Celtics gear and stuff before games. Like, come on, there's no way. So you're telling me his whole family are Celtics fans except for him? You're telling me he has no bias, no nothing? It's BS. I do not buy that for a second. Right? And the Lakers got they got screwed. That's what it is at the end of the day. Look, I understand it happens. I understand like every team has dealt with a bad call or a loss on the hands of the refs and stuff. And look, I do understand the argument of like the Lakers should have never gotten in that position. They should have closed out better. They should have done this, that, and the other. But you're talking about arguably the best team in the entire league. You're more times than not, you're not going to blow them out by 40. Right? It's not going to be just a handily win. It's going to be a hard fought game. You have the Lakers who are at full strength. You got the Celtics that are they're one of, if not the best teams in the league at home even. You're going to have that back and forth battle. It's going to be a hard fought game. It's going to come down to a play or two or whatever. That's just how games work. Right? I mean, football, basketball, baseball, like they're usually, more times than not, yeah, you do have the blowout games here and there. And it seems common because, you have so many games with so many teams, right? You have, 31 teams that are all playing 82 games. And so, like, yes, you're going to have almost daily some type of blowout, some type of 20-point win. But more times than not, games are decided by, like, a field goal or two. Right? Like, that's why, like, even betting lines. Usually betting lines are, like, 3 to, 7 range. Or 3 to 5 range. Because games are usually close. And then you get into free throws. And then that pushes it to the 6, the 7s, the whatever. But usually it comes down to a play or two before a game gets decided. And in a game like this, it was decided by the refs. The refs should have made the call. And I know people say, LeBron, he should have finished it, or he should have dunked it, or he should have whatever. It's easier said than done when you're getting smacked all the way there. You're getting pulled, you're getting hit on your arm as you're trying to elevate. Like, to me, the people that are like, oh, he should have dunked it, he should have finished it, are people that just never played sports, right? Like, you let somebody pull down on your arms and slap your arms, and you try to finish a layup, or you try to dunk a basketball. Like, it's not as easy as people try to make it sound. Like, everyone's just like, oh, he should have dunked it. Like, or, this person would have dunked it, or that person would have dunked it. Like, BS. Again, if anybody has ever played the game of basketball and you've actually driven to the hoop, and you weren't just some guy sitting on the bench, or you weren't just some guy that was just shooting threes all day or whatever. Like, if you were a guy that actually put the ball on the floor, went through contact, and tried to finish, more times than not, it is hard to do. Because you have people literally, it's not like he's slapping your arms up. He's pulling your arms down with your momentum, with everything. Like, you're conflicting with the play itself. There's no way. And Jason Tatum isn't some little kid where you could just pull through. Like, he's a grown man, good size. Like, and you have two other guys that are slapping at you and clawing at you. Like, it's not as simple as people make it seem. And it's mind-blowing to me that this was a real thing. And this tweet was real. I thought it was a joke. I really thought it was like some fake troll tweet. This is just blows my mind. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What did you think? What do you think about the tweet? What did you think about the situation? However you feel, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comment section below.